So, so we all know who I am now a little bit. I'm Jeff Nischwitz, and I do leadership coaching, leadership development, working with executives on their leadership, mostly on their impact, how they're interacting with others. Certainly do facilitated retreats. I also do facilitate kind of anything that involves facilitation, because facilitation is about smoothing the way, especially if it's about a need to build trust. Trust is, we didn't talk a lot about trust. We talked around it today. I believe that every organizational challenge is a trust challenge, ultimately, but we're not usually dealing with the trust issues. We're dealing with the surface issues, and we're coming up with tactics and practices, but we're not getting to the core of what's the trust issues. So, the work I do, including my coaching, it's high vulnerability and starts with me. I go first. I bring a lot of vulnerability to it, a lot of presence, a lot of curiosity, a lot of wonderment. That's a phrase you've repeated that. I use that word a lot. I wonder because I don't know something, but I wonder and see what you think because you're the one that's experiencing it. This is the thing. Here's the thing I'd say. I help people know things they already know, but we're unable to see. That's the bottom line of what I do, whether it's in a one-on-one or in a group. I help them maybe spot the patterns. I think that's a gift of mine. I can spot the patterns and help people then unravel the patterns, understand them, and break the patterns. But yeah, it comes down to vulnerability and trust, and doing it in a safe environment. I'm honored. I'm always honored when I go into a place, especially if like some sort of facilitated environment or even a one-on-one, how quickly people just start opening up. And that tells me that they feel safe to do that. And maybe it's because I come across with an energy that I really want what's best for them. And I think that's the final thing I would say over the years. Probably the nicest, call it a compliment, I've ever gotten, and I've gotten it repeatedly, is some version of, Jeff, you see the best in everyone. Because I think what I think I see the truth of them. I see past the mask. And a lot of people wear masks because they're afraid of what under the mask is ugly, but I see the beauty of them because ultimately that is what's at the bottom of all the masks is beauty, beautiful humans living a human existence that's imperfect through different experiences in their life. And I see that light in them and I reflect that back to them. And maybe that's all they need in a particular day is to trust that just for that moment, that they are light and they are beautiful and they are amazing, they are powerful, and they trust it through my eyes to say that it's true, even if they don't believe it all the time.
That's fantastic. And Jeff, give us the leadership power of
Yeah.
three.
So leaders, this is the practice tip, things to just bring into your leadership. These 10 words, three phrases. I was wrong. I don't know. I need some help. And here's the interesting thing about it. I get that it's scary to say it. And if it's scary, it means it takes vulnerability, and vulnerability feeds trust. People trust people that they know. They don't trust people that are faking it. And the other thing I would invite you to do is start watching or rewatching some of the most inspiring movies you've ever seen and look for the vulnerability versus the heroism. Because you'll see that in most cases, the examples that we're drawn to, it's the vulnerability that made the hero, not the seemingly invulnerable hero.
Jeff Nischwitz. I knew it would be a great one. It certainly was. That was a lovely session. And I think it saves some time for another session one day. Maybe perhaps I should get you as a co-host with me with some of the guests I've got lined up. We could have a great time. And then at the end of it, I could say, Jeff, what was your insights from what you've heard? What are the questions you should ask our guest? And because I listened to The Rest is Politics, and at the end, the two of them just have a chat together about what they took away from it. I think that's quite interesting. So, Jeff, thank you very much, Jeff Nischwitz, for being on the Inspiring Leadership podcast. You are a true friend, and I learn from you every day. So it's a real joy having you here.
Thank you, Jonathan.